Like it.
Oh, we can talk now. Hello.
I
can.
It's amazing.
Hi, friend.
I know, I was hesitating. I was like, wait,
Welcome to the Women of .NET stream of the day. Today we are so excited. We have Luce Carter on with us. Nope. Always mess up the side every time.
Oh yeah, me too. There we go.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, but it is always a pleasure to have you on, Luce. We are so excited, so thrilled to have you on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks for having me. To be fair, I asked to be here because I heard that this was happening, and I was like, I want in on this magic. Like, amazing people, amazing content. Sign me up.
So we are super pumped. And you want to tell us a little bit about, well, first of all, introduce yourself, and then we get into our topic.
Cool.
Yep.
So I'm Luce Carter. I am a developer advocate at MongoDB. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, probably most well known for mobile stuff, which is kind of why I'm here. And I'm probably the only person in the world who has a Xamarin Shrine in their kitchen.
Ooh.
what? Wait, I did not know about this.
Xamarin Shrine. Even I didn't know this.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have pictures? Like, I don't know.
I can find one. But basically, the story of it is that I used to work for a company who was a Xamarin Gold partner back when Xamarin was a startup. And so I had loads of hexagon stickers for the logo, but I didn't know what to do with them. So I ended up putting them on a piece of paper in a nice little pattern that I then stuck to my kitchen wall. But if you follow the Xamarin and mobile space, you'll know that James Montemagno and Frank Kruger have been doing a merge conflict podcast for many, many years. And a few years ago, was it 2018, 2019? I woke up on New Year's Day to their episode being out, and they announced a Patreon. So I was their first ever Patreon. So as a thank you, they sent me a handwritten thank you card. So I've got that on the wall as well because I treasure that. They said such sweet things in this card. So yeah, between merge conflict stickers and Xamarin logos in the card, it's all on my kitchen wall. So yeah, I have a Xamarin Shrine in my kitchen, and all I'm going to say now is that people need to send me the .NET version so I can make a .NET MAUI shrine in my kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling Luce is going to get the .NET MAUI swag before even I get my hands on any .NET MAUI swag. So
I don't know.
Makes sense,
I don't
right?
do as much MAUI these days. It's going to be really interesting. I barely write code, so it's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Oh, I need to up my game. Now I'm like, where can a shrine fit in my room? Around here.
Yeah, so I have ADHD amongst other things, and so I don't really do things by halves. So when I love something, I am all in. And for me, I've blogged about it and spoke about it. Software development saved my life. I was suicidal and had no friends, and then I discovered coding and was taught C#. So it's literally saved my life. So for me, .NET will always have my heart forever. But Xamarin was the first .NET-based technology where I was like, I can get on board with this. And I've been a huge fan ever since. So I have no qualms about having a shrine in my kitchen. I love this technology, and I always will.
We've got lots of love in the chat. We've got Corling.
Oh my God, Heather's the best. Also, Heather, I have not forgotten about that thing that I'm going to do for you. It's just I have a chest infection, and so I've not been very well.
Oh my goodness. I'm right there with you though on the eclectic shrine bits. We just moved to this house this year, but in my last one I kind of had I kind of do this weird thing where I just hang it up if I like it, and it doesn't necessarily maybe it's not something that's hangable. So my friends were like, maybe you shouldn't do that to your new house because you kind of look insane. But I just
Wait, what do you have?
Like if it's anything from a tech conference, dev stickers, or sometimes it's a coaster or a coffee, what are those sleeves, things like that. Or I have a billion pictures of my baby, and so it's different shapes and sizes, but they're not in frames, right? It's just on the wall, and it's just the whole wall is like that, and I'm like, this looks great, and people walk in and they're like, whoa. So I don't know,
Yeah, I need to up my game. I have one photo, and that's all.
What do I have? We all went through the Xamarin monkey phase. So on our desks, we all had all the different versions of the monkeys. Yeah.
Wait. There's monkeys?
Yeah. So way back when, from the Mono days, and then the Xamarin days, and then post, like a couple of post acquisition years. Yep, we've had a variety of different. So our logo's always been associated with the monkey. So we've always made like swags, which basically like monkey shape, like monkeys. So yes, so Craig Dunn, who's now on the Surface Duo team. He for the longest time in our office had all of them, and he had them all lined up on his desk for the longest time. Yeah, I think half of them were those monkeys, and they're all currently on my desk. I'm a little
confused because I thought the only mascot was the robot.
So that's like, the .NET mascot. So when we got acquired, got merged in, and now with .NET MAUI, it's all going to be the .NET bot. But when we were still Xamarin, and before that, when we were Mono, it was a monkey.
Yeah. So this monkey that I've got is actually slightly limited edition. Ignore the Twilio. I've got Twilio scrunchie that's acting as a bandana. But basically, after the acquisition, for a short period, Microsoft decides that Xamarin shouldn't have its own identity brand, and it should just be mobile. So Visual Studio tooling for mobile or something. And so they rebranded with these little like you've got the Visual Studio icon, and then you've got little icons underneath. It's hard to see, but you've got C# Cloud, XAML tags, and a mobile.
Yeah, I think I have the human shirt for that.
Yeah, I was about to say, they were giving these out at Build 2018 that I got a ticket to, and I've got the matching T-shirt.
So the monkeys had the baby t-shirts and we had the matching t-shirts. For the last Evolve that we did, it's the same thing. The monkeys are wearing the Xamarin plus Microsoft, Evolve t-shirts, and then we all humans have the human version of that t-shirt. So yes, for a while there we were like dressing our monkeys
the human shirt.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So wait,
Evolve was the best. I was at the one in 2016, which I think was the last one.
Yeah, that was our last one.
All the employees were told to wear different color shirts on every day, so you could tell who they were.
Do you think it'll get to be like the Octonaut where it's like, this is the .NET monkey, or this is the .NET?
I don't think I don't know if the monkeys are coming back, but I'm hoping the .NET bot gets funner and funner.
More fun.
Yeah. I do like the .NET bot though. It's a cool bot. Yeah, cool dude.
Yeah, for the anniversary, you could customize it and dress it up, which I really liked.
Was it like an app or something? And
there's a website, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a website.
It still is. They were still around. The 20th anniversary, I think, the other week. So maybe
we can dress it as a monkey. We'll bring the two worlds together.
I know. I feel like we need to make some mashups happen.
Mod the .NET bot. Here you go. This is the link.
Wait, his name is what?
No, I found the link to the website. Sorry.
Potato Head for MS Bot. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Okay.
I think we did a bunch of the stuff with like the .NET. You can make the .NET bot go to the beach, and that's what we use for like the MAUI stuff, which was pretty fun.
And if we were talking about Xamarin stuff, it's going to the zoo, and all of a sudden it's monkey. Let
me see if it does let me post the link. All right.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't sure. Okay.
All right. I'm totally sorry for the sidetrack. I'm writing this down. Mod.NET bot.
Yeah.
I just put the link in Twitch. If someone can put it on YouTube, that'd be great.
So speaking of which, I had a question. It might be too personal, Luce, so let me know if it goes
I
too
am the
far.
most open book you'll ever meet in your life. You can ask me whatever you like and I will answer it. Go on.
Okay, I mean you might take that back after I say this, but
absolutely not. You're my friend. You can ask me anything you like, even on the internet.
I know you are into the mobile side of life.
I am.
Are you going to be like getting into MAUI, or will you continue on with Xamarin Love?
I am. MAUI is the way forward.
Okay.
So a bit of history to what we're actually going to be working on today when we stop just having a great time talking about monkeys. So end of last year, someone I know sent me a photo of a sheet of blood pressure and pulse readings that they had to take from the doctor. And I just saw it, and working for a database company, I'm all in, and I was like, oh, data. We can do better things than a human piece of paper. So I was like, right, how can I combine the two things I love? And so I was like, right, I'm going to make a Xamarin Forms app that uses MongoDB, which we'll talk about in a minute, in the background, to be able to log these blood pressure and pulse readings from an app. And, we'll be able to add fancy things that MongoDB does. So not just viewing the history, but there's also charts. you can literally point the charts at your data source and just go, here, make a pretty chart. This is what I want on the x-axis. This is what I want on the y-axis. So I was like, oh, we can start posting, we can start looking at trends, like what was your pulse like over 30 days and all that stuff. So I was like, right, I'm going to start working on this app. Now, Alyssa might be able to relate to this. We're very good at starting things and not finishing them. So it's a work in progress. But now that .NET MAUI is now on preview 14, but I started this at preview 13, end of last year, I think it was. Or no, MAUI was a few weeks ago. I was like, do you know what? MAUI is at a point now where, as a hobbyist, let's just get involved. Let's try it out. So one Saturday, I was like, right, I love it. Start moving these apps across. So that's when I was like, right, I'm just going to start making this in MAUI. But I've only got so far with it because, again, we don't finish anything. So I was like, do you know what? When I was saying earlier, when I heard about this, I was like, amazing people, amazing initiative, great stream. I want in. So I was like, screw it. Let's just put this in live on the internet. What can go wrong?
That's awesome.
How did it go?
I mean, Luce was what she said right now is 100% true, because we did our last stream and literally 20 minutes after the stream, Luce is hitting me up on Twitter. Hey, can I join you guys on the stream? I'm doing this cool thing with my MAUI app and I want to join in the MAUI fun. I'm like, of course, duh. That is so happening. So.
Well, I just thought, you know what? Why not? Well, I mean, to be fair, we did talk about it a little bit in the Twitch chat before we went offline. It was just because the stream went offline. I was like, okay, well, I'll just grab the same people in the Twitter DM group and just be like, please, I want in.
Anytime. We were so happy when we reached out. We were like, yes, come to us. Tell us
I don't know how often you actually have guests that go, hi, can I come on?
It's actually preferred. I don't know, if you're out there and it's you have either, whether it's Women of .NET or something for another group, another community, organizers appreciate that. It's not a frowned upon thing. It's a wanted and desired thing. So just putting that out there if you're
yeah. I mean, you and I are doing a thing soon.
I know. Are you so excited? Are you ready?
I am. I mean, this is going to be a precursor. So, for those who don't know, Alyssa also has an amazing Twitch stream elsewhere. And the 8th, no, not the 8th, it's 4th of April, I think.
Yes, I believe so. It is
at some point in the first week of April.
Luce is coming on my JavaScript girl .NET world, and she's going to teach me mobile.
You can't be a JS girl in the .NET world and not learn mobile too.
And it's going to be exciting. Lots of
learning. You can do a little bit of pre-stream homework so you can download some tools. But apart from that, we're good.
That's always good. It's always good to be able to, run projects before you go live. I've learned that lesson.
Makes sense.
A little bit of I will do some of my homework. I will see if this builds. Yes, usually a good call. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So tell us, Luce, at any point I can add your screen up, but tell us some things. What are we talking about today?
Yes, where do you at? Do you want to give us quick status check where we're at?
Okay, so we have an Android app. I've got both versions installed on this emulator. So the current Xamarin Forms version. See if it works. Yeah, so I can log in. And the UI is terrible, by the way. I'll be the first to admit I can't do design, so please forgive me. But we can say things like 192. That's terrible.
I can't wait to see this code.
Oh yeah, we'll go through it. I promise.
Yes.
And this is also in the wrong place, so.
It is?
This UI needs work, so ignore the terrible layout. But this is the Forms version, so we can pretend it's not terrible. So we can log it and then we can get the history. And there it is. 28. I have issues with this because it's an American format and month and day should be swapped around, but
we're sorry.
It's okay. Okay, I know too many amazing Americans not to love you all, so you're forgiven.
Thank you.
I just try to avoid it, and I just like spell it out, you know. I'm like March 28th, because I just too many.
Yeah.
Kendall's yelling
continue.
ISO things at us. I don't know what these are.
And then
date formatting.
here in the UK, our clocks only went forward this weekend. So I've had things for this week, including the stream, planned before the clock changed. And I was like, oh God, is this messed with anything? Like, is it the time I thought it was?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Constant scheduling.
Did you hear we might be getting rid of it though?
Ooh. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Now, if you could also follow the States and the UK both, and everybody is just like, hey, buy time change, that would help us a lot. Although, can you imagine all of the apps that need to be like changed, or all the like integrations that need to be?
I know all the
with the time change going away. Like, I'm just
not want to be that person. Oh boy,
my gosh. My father-in-law was like, why is it going to take a year to roll this change out? I was like, if the software developers had their way, it would take 2. Like, what? It's not like.
Okay, I like this. I love this Xamarin app. It's so cute. I like it.
I know.
And I don't know. I like the design. I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's great. It all makes sense.
Well, it's okay, but it's on the log page. Like, this was getting cut off when we were typing in it before, so it's not great. But I like the cute little icons.
Yep.
I pay for the website flat icon because I use the icons in my YouTube videos. So I was like, I'll just stick it in an app as well. Actually, I didn't pay when I did it here, so I added a little caveat at the bottom, but I don't need it anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, eventually this will have more than just history and a log page. Like, there's nothing in here at the moment, but that is the Xamarin Forms version that we're trying to update.
Cool.
And then if we kill that off, we can kill that off as well. We'll start from scratch. We have the Maui version.
Yeah, I'm curious where you're at with the Maui version.
Okay, not very far. Okay, that.
What does that mean?
No.
Oh no.
Are we like worried about?
Okay.
Like,
I'm prepared for this. It's already here and waiting. You just need to run it live.
Why does it do that? Do you know?
Oh, it will just mean that something. I'll go away back to Mac. Something isn't quite configured right on the app. So without being live connected to Visual Studio, it's just unhappy about something.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably when you deploy to a mobile app, you have 2 kind of releases. You've got development release and then like release. And so development release often can be a bit hit and miss. Release, like official releases, is more like production releases is more reliable, but obviously no one really touches them until much later on because you have to sign those and all sorts of things just to say, hey, this is from who I say it is. It's okay. Like, I'm not trying to do anything dodgy.
Trust
the kinds of
me.
things that node modules kind of need. Not to get political. Right, so we'll run this on the Pixel, and we'll.
I just moved all my windows around, so this is all in the center now. Yeah.
Right, while we wait for that to deploy, I'm going to do a bit of shameless plugging. So
go for it.
One of the reasons why I also want to get this Maui app done is that in June at MongoDB World, which is our big developer conference, if anyone learns about MongoDB today and thinks this is cool, I want to go to New York in June, hit me up on Twitter because I can get you 25% discount. But I'm basically giving this talk. It's only a lightning talk, but it's talking about how I made this mobile app. And so I want to do it in .NET MAUI because Microsoft Build, the developer conference, is in May. And I think Maui is going general availability in May. So I'm like, right, by the time June comes, this should be a Maui app, not Xamarin Forms. So this is also a really cheeky chance for me to get some work done.
Amazing incentive there. You planned this very well.
Yeah, when you work in DevRel, you kind of learn to cheat the system a little bit. So it's like,
That's
find
awesome.
way. Work smart, not hard. That's what they say, isn't it?
I feel like we need to do a neurodiversity talk as well, or a session sometimes, Luce, where we can I just want to do like a live sesh with you where we like break things down and learn from each other because there's I have so many.
Yeah, Jill,
questions.
I'd love that because one of the things that really annoys me is that I have combined type ADHD, so I have all of them, but I also have well, they call it high functioning autism these days. It's basically Asperger's, a little bit. And so a lot of the time, my ADHD symptoms don't match up with like a lot of ADHD people. I know it's always different, but I'm forever hearing stories from ADHD people about like, oh, I'm like a scatterbrain with 1,000 tabs, and I'm like, no, this is a normal number of tabs for me. I even have a life management system.
Did you just say 2? Did you just say 2 is a normal number? What? I don't think anyone, developer or not, can get away with 2 tabs. Ridiculous.
Honestly,
I call shenanigans.
So I'll sometimes have more than 2 tabs. What it is that I have windows for each thing that I'm up to. So if I'm writing an article for work, which I do a lot, I'll have the tab open for where I'm writing the article in Google Docs, a tab for the briefs that we get to help us put the content in that developers are actually looking for, and maybe some research. And then I'll have a window that's maybe got my calendar in it. Once I'm done with something, gets killed off instantly. Done. See ya.
I'm so impressed. Nice. I have multiple windows, all chocked full of tabs. I'm all over the place all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have so many tabs. I think once I was it? I don't remember what it was. I think it was one of the .NET stand-ups. And I was sharing my screen, and was it a Twitter picture? I forget. I basically posted my tabs of shame, with like hundreds and hundreds of tabs open, and everybody could see it. Yeah, and then instead of like being like laughing at my amazing content and joke, everybody was like, "Why does she have so many tabs open? What's wrong with her?" And
that's all they can see.
Most of them were like MS Docs and stuff, and I was like, "Well, that's just how I work." I don't know why I tell you that.
Yeah, I'm too used to, I think just with social media and like I'm a big TikTok buff, I'm so used to just little spurts of different things all the time that I'll just go through my tabs and be like, oh yeah, I need to remember that. Oh yeah, I need to remember that. And it's just, I need to get better at focusing, honing in on one thing at a time.
I'll show you something really sad. I don't think there's anything personal in here, so it's fine. But yeah, literally, I have everything sorted. So I even have like
that's amazing.
What I need to do today. This is out of date because I forget to update it. But like literally, everything is managed. Even my like videos for YouTube are all managed.
I need to do a TED Talk and just absorb it. Like this is so impressive to me. This is amazing.
I know.
To be fair, for people that actually genuinely want to get into this stuff, I do actually I'll take time to have a meeting with anyone completely free and help you do it.
Ooh, that's amazing.
This stuff's so life changing that more people need to understand the perks of just having your sugar together. Like it's amazing. Like don't get me wrong, I am far from perfect. Like there's lots of things I want to tweak, which is why I've got so many things. But I try.
I think my hard part is like going back to it, like checking back in, because I'll start lists like that you have, and then it's like, did I actually go back and make sure they happened? Like that's the killer. Yeah. So do you have like a timer that goes off every day that you're like check in with Notion?
Like, not quite, but I use time blocking in my calendar, so everything I have on, I mostly time block. Pomodoro, which if you don't know is people watching, is 25 minutes. Well, you can change your values, but the default is 25 minutes sole focus work and then 5 minutes break, and then after 4 cycles you take a longer break. But like I don't like it doesn't work for me, so I try and do time blocking, but in very, very small things. So from 9 to 9:15 every morning is process my emails. I don't get so much email that it takes me 15 minutes to do, so I tend to check in with my Notion stuff every morning, or if not, I try and do a weekly review where at the weekend I'll just have a quick look at what needs doing.
I love that, and I think Coraline is saying that this is inspiration to see, talking about coping mechanisms that work with neurotypical devs. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna put together a session just like either in person or streamed or something, and for sure have you on, Luce, because I just want to learn from you, like what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like, even if your ADHD isn't the normal ADHD, like I feel like there's still so much that I could learn. So I love it. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm giving this talk as well on productivity techniques because like, as I was saying before we went live, like I live in the UK and we're very, very, very blessed with free healthcare. But the problem with free healthcare is that there's never enough money in the world to fund it. And so you constantly hear about how stretched and underfunded it is. And so a lot of the time it kind of puts you off going to the doctor unless you really, really, really need to go. So like I've had a cough since I caught a head cold at the end of February, but I've not thought much about it because I'm like, I'm okay. I'm still doing 5,000 steps a day. I'm going, and stuff. But I've started to like actually get ill the past few days, and so that's when I've gone right. I'm actually going to go to the doctor now. And yeah, I found out I've had a chest infection for a month. So
I hate that you've been living with that long.
Okay, but yeah, if I randomly mute, it's because I'm coughing and I'm trying not to annoy everyone.
Hey, did your Maui app run? Did it do it?
I was just about to find out. You're in my head already.
Know?
I like it.
Would it like pop up with something, or does it? It doesn't.
There you go.
Notify.
Hey, I see something.
So,
I see something. Ooh, I have so many questions. Okay.
What?
We'll get there.
How can you have so many questions?
Oh, I have so many questions. You forget to work on this stuff.
He's ready.
So just like I have so many questions just from, but yes, no, Luce, you go first, then I'll ask my questions.
So I can't remember if we talked about this before stream or on stream, but basically I having problems with iOS simulators because version mismatches and some other things. So we're on an Android journey today. But the one thing I couldn't get working in Android is custom text colors on the tabs at the bottom. So the non-selected is supposed to be white, but I can't get it to work on Android. And I haven't taken the time to hit up all the people I know that work on Maui and just go, hey, how do I fix this? So please excuse that. But, we have the same tabs, we have the same icons, just absolutely no functionality.
Okay, I have another question. Are you starting like a blank app from scratch? Or did you migrate over some of your old code?
So I started with a blank project, but then I started to migrate the code over. So this stuff at the bottom with the tabs and the colored icons and the background is thanks to using a custom renderer. So for those that don't know, basically you can if you want to customize how the code looks on each platform it's deployed to, so like iOS, Android, Windows, macOS Catalyst and stuff, you can go into basically platform level and say, hey, I want to use this code for this. And you can tie it up to the shared code and just say, in this situation, use this code. So that's what this is at the bottom. It's using Shell, which is how do Microsoft describe it? Opinionated navigation framework, but it makes it so much easier for doing either flyout menus. So, you sometimes see the hamburger icon that you can click and a menu comes out, or tab. So this is a custom shell renderer basically, where I've said use colored icons and change the text color. It's supposed to be white, but when it's selected, it's orange. And so that stuff I brought over from Xamarin Forms, and
nice.
I'm pretty sure I didn't have to change anything really.
That's amazing.
So that's cool.
I'm helping out with the migration stuff, so I'm just like curious how your migration journey is coming along. So I have so many questions.
Hey, that's fine. And if we haven't got enough time for all the questions, by all means, stick a meeting in my calendar and you can grill me about it. I don't mind.
Absolutely. Awesome.
I don't get a chance to talk about Maui anywhere near as much as I'd like. So I'm just like, yes, throw it at me. Come on.
Is it the Coraline to talk Maui migration? Is it wait, I feel like hot take. I feel like we throw that word around a lot. Is it a migration? In my mind, migration is when you take a set of code and you do something to it and then it turns into another set of code. But I feel like with a lot of these things, it's a rewrite and you're just referencing your old code. Like, is there a migration path? Is that a real thing? or is it just?
I mean, are we talking about in general? Are you asking specifically for Maui? Like, are you asking specifically about
from Xamarin Forms
to
or
Maui?
Xamarin to Maui? Yeah.
Okay. How much is? I don't. Well, don't hit me if none of this, like, if I'm saying something are like not supposed to be saying. So so it is the next evolution, and when we talk about migration from Xamarin Forms to Maui, there's quite a few steps involved, because you have to change all of your references and dependencies from all the old Xamarin stuff to the Maui stuff. For the most part, the team is doing its best to try and make it make it easy, try and not, well, the effort is and has been to try and not break as much of your old Xamarin code, but that's easier said than done. So of course, there's a few API changes. A lot of the, like, for example, we have what used to be the Xamarin Essentials NuGet package. That isn't a NuGet package anymore. That's sort of bundled straight into .NET MAUI now. It just lives in .NET MAUI. So you're doing stuff like removing the NuGet package and instead changing your using statement from using Xamarin.essentials to changing it to using Microsoft.maui.essentials. And everything else in theory should stay the same. So that's why we call this a migration path, because you're like, it can be a simple migration from ASP.NET standard to core, or core to something else, or like net 5 to net 6. Just adding support for that is just called a migration, because you're moving from one version of the system to another. Specifically about Xamarin Forms to Maui migration, we are very slowly pulling things out. I don't have anything official yet, but coming soon. We are working on getting the upgrade assistant to help you out as an assistant, to help you assist with a lot of your migration processes. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll have more coming soon, closer to GA. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly for me, I didn't do any official migration tools. I just lift and shift, as it were. I just started with a blank project and then just slowly worked towards copying and pasting.
Okay.
which is also completely fine. If that's what works best for you, go ahead. We're not gonna pick which path works best for you. Yes. Yeah, and the one thing I would say in Maui's favor as well is that all this stuff, and it's not hooked up at the moment because it's got no functionality to tell it to decide in shell which page to load. But I also did a pretty login page as well. And nice. All it took me was a few hours on a Saturday afternoon. Like, it's easier than you think.
That's amazing. Yeah. Good to hear.
We can cheat. Let's just change this to login page. You can see it. It doesn't work, as in it's no functionality, but it looks pretty. If it's how I remember it. We've done the right brand. Yeah.
It's so funny how different, like development in mobile versus desktop versus web. Like, it's so different.
Oh no! Did we hit a?
No. What's that trying to do?
No.
I don't even know what that. I mean, I get what it means. I don't know why that's happening. We'll try again.
Code Life was asking what we're doing today. We have Luce on talking about mobile development, MongoDB. We also were talking about productivity and neurodiversity and development. It's really been all over the place.
It's a bit like us.
Well, I don't want to derail, Luce. You have a plan, so you take it away. Your stream.
There you go. That's what the background is for the login page.
Oh.
Okay, so where did you include that? Can you show me where you put that on your login page?
So basically, what's cool with Maui is historically in Xamarin Forms, images were really difficult. You had to put them at platform level in the right place. So like for Android, you put it in resources and then the folders, and you'd have to put the images in all the right sizes. For iOS, you'd have to have like a image assets collection with it all in the different sizes for the different size iPhones and all the other things going on. Thanks to Maui, we can just stick it in resources and images, and any of these and if they're in the images, they're available straight away. So example, in the login page, if we go to the actual code for it, which I'm a fan of the model view model architecture, so everything's split into folders. We have a grid. I'm going to zoom out slightly. No, that is not what I wanted. But yes, you've got a grid, and there's a little hack with Xamarin Forms which says you can do a grid. I guess it works with Maui as well. You can do a grid, which you don't set columns, rows, you don't actually treat it as a grid. It's just that if you then use a grid, you can stick an image source in as an aspect fill and use it as a background.
What?
So I've just got a nice pretty background, and then I've just got a scroll view inside.
Is this like in the web using a table to like do your layout and then giving that table like a background or something? Is that kind of what you're doing?
Yep.
Here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Cool. So scroll view, and then you have your
you've
scroll
got, like,
view with all your.
Yeah, so it's like let me get Paint.
Oh my goodness, are we opening Paint? You know it's
We
good
are.
stuff when Paint
So-
gets open.
Stack layout by default it's vertical, so it's as you'd imagine it's a stack. So you have your main stack, that's where you define, hey, I want a stack, so it gives you like a nice box, not with an actual line around it, but conceptually it's a box. And then you can say, I want another box. So by default, every component you add inside that defined stack layout tag will just slowly get added vertically like that. So that's how you can start building the page up. But what we sometimes do with forms, which you'll see in here, is that we will start doing things like you've got, you can do, I don't think I've actually got it in here, but what you can sometimes do for the layout historically was say that the orientation was horizontal. So rather than putting them like this, it put them next to each other. So you can start to put out forms. Mm. But one of the things that Maui's got that I forgot, which is so beautiful, is you can actually specify it now as a vertical or a horizontal stack layout, and then that will define how it's appeared. So it's just a nice way to make a form.
That's so nice. Thank you for the visual as well. I'm such a visual learner. I'm like, I see.
I think there was.
Everyone learns differently. Sometimes it's just easier to explain rather than waving my hands around like some kind of magician. I'll just draw you some boxes and things.
Exactly. Yep. Those are great visual aids. I should do this more often. I just think about it. Yeah.
So we have.
Yeah, that's what this is basically. Obviously, I can show you if I remove the image source because I think that's what the canvas is complaining is too large.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, no,
you think so?
Wrong syntax. If we do. It's Control U C.
Oh my goodness! Look at
Control
you
KC. Are you trying to comment it out? Control KC. Yeah,
Control KC.
Press again.
Oh yeah, Control KC to comment. Control KU.
I remember. I remember it's a weird. People sometimes wonder why it's Control K and C, but it's because there's so many shortcuts in Visual Studio they ran out of them. So Control K is like basically just go to the second row.
Yep. Also, fun fact, they don't call these shortcuts anymore. These are called chords because there's more than one letter involved. So, in chords of music. That's
clever.
These are called chords. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
We can map these together. So you've got the vertical layout, which is around this lot. What's this? I don't know what the shortcut is to scribble on the screen. I can't remember. People's surfaces do it, but
wait, what? That's a thing. Everybody's can do it. Is it
the good one? That one I don't know. I forget.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah, basically, I just wanted to scribble on the screen so I can draw around this, but
scribble.
I don't think I can. Let me just. My mouse has died, so I need to put it on charge. Hang on.
I was like, is this a built-in thing? What?
Windows it should be, but I don't think it is. Okay. I'm just going. I can hear. I just can't see.
Sweet.
Yeah, Windows has a thingy which lets you scribble it. Yeah.
I was gonna mention Libu Gang, one of our organizers who can't be in the chat or can't be here today, and our chat was asking about the difference between like Windows Phone development and this, and wondering which part is MAUI. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that for a second because it wasn't
Oh
interesting.
yeah, sure. I mean, I linked. I'll grab the same doc that I linked to, and I'll drop it into which if I find which window I had Twitch in. Oh my god, I'm all over the place. Okay, there we go. Anyone is curious, what is MAUI? Great explanation on that on our docs page. I'll also answer Heather's question once I answer Levo's question. So for those who don't know, .NET MAUI is essentially the next evolution of Xamarin. So essentially, if you use, so by using .NET MAUI, you can write your code once and you can target iOS, Windows, Mac OS, Android, what Luce is doing right now. And essentially, it is similar to Windows Phone development, yes, but you're only not specifically writing code for one platform. This lets you target multiple platforms. You write once, runs everywhere. Runs everywhere with an asterisk on it. So how is it similar to Windows Phone? Yes, it is similar in the sense that you can write your code and your app completely in C#. You can also write your code and your app with C# and XAML, which is something Windows Phone developers would be familiar with. So XAML being the design language for this. So what we're seeing on screen right now, Luce's page that's open, that's the XAML portion of this login page. So that just controls the design aspect, how you lay out your controls, how your controls look, and the actual functionality, what happens when you click a button, what happens when you want something to happen. That all happens in the C# code. So these are two connected files that represent one page of your app. Heather's question was not an example for browser-based ones like Blazor. So for Blazor, unfortunately, it's not like a drop down. So like if I don't know if anyone caught on, but when there's like a little drop down menu that you can choose, like in Visual Studio, like what do you want to target this? Where do you want this to run? In that drop down, you'll see iOS, Android, you'll see the whole list of things. For Blazor, it's not just, you have to actually add a separate project. That's the Blazor project, do a little bit of like setup, and then everything starts working together for you. So Blazor is supported, and I'm going to try and find the doc that talks about that in more detail, because there's some cool work folks are doing for Blazor support. So it's pretty exciting. And I see Luce's back, so I will let her continue.
Yeah, cool. So that's the drop-down boxes we're talking about. So you'll find weird things sometimes where if you target one of these platforms, but then run it on like a simulator or emulator platform that doesn't match the one that you've picked from the drop-down, you'll suddenly get weird errors that your code is broken. It's not, you're just on the wrong platform. I do that all the time. But yeah, so I can't draw on screen, but we have a mouse back, so we'll just do a bit of cursor things. Let me cursor. I'm gonna make my cursor bigger so that people can follow what I'm doing, because this is way too tiny to be helpful. Pointer options, that's speed. I can't remember how you change the size. Options. No, it's not that one. I should know this. On my own personal Twitch, I have a channel point redemption where people can change the size and color of my cursor, but there we go.
That's awesome.
I'm going to make this super large. I'm going to make it bright pink.
Oh my god, I love it so much!
That's awesome.
Okay, so the reason I want the super giant cursor is because I want to draw some triangles so that it'll make a bit of sense. So, where's my login page gone? Obviously, this isn't adding any functionality, but I just want to explain it before we start doing things. But we've got this. Nope. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, what? Wrong app. That's why. Yeah, basically, we've got this vertical layout. So we're saying, like, up here at line 15. So that's this giant, like, that's basically a box around all of this. And then the next bit is a. You've got the vertical stack layout, so that's these two bits together here. Then you do another one for the password. Then outside of a vertical stack, just in our other stack, we've then got the button, the or text, and then a create account button. So it's just stacked to pieces. Nice and simple. CSS gives me nightmares, so I think YAML.
It's so hard coming from a CSS world because I'm like, what is spacing? Are these pixels? Who's talking units? What's
pixels,
happening? Is it? It is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It might map to something mathematically. I'm not sure.
And if you change that outer vertical stack layout to a horizontal stack layout, can we see it break? I want to see it go into it. Will it go into a row? Yeah? Yeah? Maybe? I also thought you would have to have horizontals inside of those verticals, but you just kind of put the label in the entry. And they're like spanning the full width. So I guess that's like a default thing that elements do.
So we'll just restart and see how broken it gets.
Alyssa, yes, it defaults to just filling the space it's in. So
yeah. So it's not really changed much because this stuff's still vertical.
It kind of squished, but if you notice, it squished it this way. I wonder if you put a background color to it, Luce, will it like show up a little bit more clearer in the difference? But it went like from it kind of like instead of fitting it this way, it's gonna try and fit it and center it this way.
I thought it would put each vertical stack next to each other off the screen.
Inside of it, if you notice, Luce still has a stack layout that's vertically oriented, and she's got other vertical stack. Everything else, she just changed the biggest one on the outside from a vertical to a horizontal. But everything else inside of it stays the same, though. It's like they all have their own relative layout situation in there.
No, I guess I just thought I was thinking of it like Flexbox, and like if your outer Flexbox.
No, so this isn't a Flexbox. This is a static layout situation. So it's just either you want everything stacked this way or this way. So, but she's got like layered, like there's another stack inside the stack inside the stack. So
yeah, it's just like the scroll view, which is all of this lot. Then you've got this bit, which is the horizontal stack that we just changed. But then inside of it, I've got different vertical stacks, which are grouping them together. So if we put like a box around them, this would be a vertical layout. This would be a vertical layout. So if we wanted to change it, we could change one of these to horizontal.
Fuel is trying to stir the pot. Said which was first for Flex. For Flex, I love it. But I think I understand. It's still not behaving how I expected it to.
Well, don't worry, because when we do a little I teach you things, we'll go through all of this together.
Excellent.
By doing.
April 4th, tune in. I'll be on the Code It Live Twitch channel, and we're going to go into some mobile development, and Luce will kindly go down the scary rabbit holes. Most people won't follow me into the dark, Luce. So I'm glad
See how this has gone weird because it's now next to each other.
Yes, that's what I thought would happen.
Yeah, but that's because, like I was saying, she's got even smaller stacks inside the bigger stack. So what we changed was just the bigger outside stack,
right?
Not
but
the inside stack.
In my mind, I thought username and email would still be stacked because that's a smaller stack. But like username, email, and the line. But then I thought password would be next to it. But password is not next to it. It's not letting us.
She's put another box around that big box. So there's like 2 layers of boxes in there. So
I only saw one.
Got like
so there's another stack layout in there too. Like outside of the main vertical one, she's got another stack layout in there. If you go back to the code, you'll see that.
So you've got the big box, which is orange. Then you've got the username and entry bit.
I think what Sweeky's saying though is that you have a box between the orange box and.
Didn't you have? I thought I saw a stack layout in there,
and that's why we're not getting the expected.
Couldn't tell you why I did it, but I would have done it once upon a time.
On line 16, I think that is line 15.
Right. So I see that 16. But he doesn't actually have horizontal or vertical defined on it, so I just ignored it. You're saying it is?
It's vertical by default. So
vertical by default.
Yeah. This is stack layout comes from the old original Xamarin Forms where you define it was vertical orientation by default unless you used an attribute called orientation to set it to horizontal, whereas Maui's now got the two. And this is just this that I quite like was stolen from a member of the community called Stephen Taverson, who's famous for really pretty UIs. And they're on GitHub, so I stole it, but it was all in Xamarin Form, so there's going to be some weirdness in here. my code is terrible. I just
Fuel
do the
was
best I
saying,
can.
he was asking what unit spacing is in, and we talked about that. Did we all agree it's pixels? Did we make that agreement?
Yeah, I think it's. I'm going to shrink my cursor because I can't work like this. There we go.
And I think we did agree it was pixels. I think
Okay,
that
cool.
was our final agreement. Yes.
Awesome. Excellent. I'm like, if it's some other Super Saiyan unit, I need to know.
Okay, right. Okay, we're going to do some actual work now because we could talk about this all day, but we'll do ourselves out of some fun in April. So, what we're trying to do today, before we all got wonderfully distracted in the best way, is to start putting data in. So, this app uses MongoDB Atlas, which is MongoDB's cloud database service. So, like, let's be honest here, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. JSON is better than SQL, right? Like, it's easier to read. We're using it. Like, whenever we do it, like HTTP Client Factory or HTTP Client, which is C#'s way of doing networking stuff, 9 times out of 10, everything comes back in JSON. So, like, let's use documents. So documents to so MongoDB is a document database, basically. So rather than SQL and its tables and its relationships between them, you have everything in a document. You can have collections of documents, and technically MongoDB is binary JSON, so BSON. So it supports more data types than just the JSON basics. But when you look at it, it looks like JSON, and so we can even browse it. So Atlas is our database as a service database, so it's all in the cloud. These days, Atlas is way more than just a database. We tend to call it an application data platform, but everything's just nicer to look at. So you can see here, stupid Android emulator, that, things are in like a key value, pair value kind of way. And we've got numbers here, we've got dates, we've got object ID with basically what looks like a GUID, which is MongoDB's like unique identifier. But everything's just much simpler, and I like it because I'm a hobbyist and I've never been the best developer. I used to work in development. It triggered my imposter syndrome to a level you would not believe. So I moved into doing QA testing for a while, and then got my dream job in DevRel. And so I take anything that's going to make my life easier. So I like JSON because it's simple. So I've got this as JSON. It's all there in the cloud. And then we have Realm. So Realm used to be a standalone mobile database, which some people in the Xamarin world might have heard of. But we bought them in 2019. And so now it's part of all the Xamarin stuff. Not Xamarin, MongoDB stuff. So you can literally use Realm as your mobile database. It helps you create like really fast reactive databases because it has online offline sync out the box. You just excuse me. You just have to enable it. So no more, as much as we love Essentials, the most common use for Essentials is checking whether the device has got internet or not. No more. Realm will take care of it. You've got a local database on the device, hooked up to an Atlas database. So if you've already got one for an existing app that you can reuse, and nice and simple. So I love using it because it's simple, and let's be honest, the easier the better. But I have this blood pressure tracker app already, and so you can do all sorts with it. You can do GraphQL, you can do service functions, triggers based on things, or even authentication. There's there's it's OAuth 2, so you can do Facebook, Google, Apple, all that stuff. So I like it, and we've just got email, password, or anonymous because OAuth 2 makes me want to cry. Sorry to our lovely people in chat that work with Auth, but OAuth 2 just scares me.
I feel like if someone says it doesn't scare them, they're lying.
It's just so many steps to it, whether it's like bearer tokens and callbacks, and I'm like, you know when you want like tokens to things, and it's like, oh, I want, what's your callback URL? I'm like, I don't have one. I don't care. Just give me a token. But that is a whole other thing. Like, if anyone ever wants to come on my live stream on MongoDB called Learning with Luce and wants to teach me OAuth 2.
Ooh, yes.
But yeah, basically all this stuff is already here out of the app already because I've worked on this before. So we are going to steal all this stuff, and it's pretty simple. So step one, obviously, is we kind of need like a form, right? We need somewhere to actually enter these readings. So in true, here's what I did earlier fashion, because I've already got this page in the Xamarin Forms version, we can just steal the code and do some updates to it so it's more MAUI friendly. So we're going to copy and paste because that's what all professional developers do, right?
Love it.
Absolutely. It is totally how it works.
There we go. So we can change this to be a vertical stack layout.
I mean, to be honest, if you want to just leave it at a stack layout, it's going to work exactly the same.
That's true.
You shouldn't need to change these minor details in your code. Yep.
But like eventually one day we will.
Nope. It's you're not. That's part of migration is to allow you to use your current apps. You just sort of just moving it to use the newest version of everything available. So we don't want you to have to constantly have to change your code. It's backwards compatible in a sense.
So
that's a lot of time. Yeah. You don't want to spend all your time just changing these minor tiny
I
things.
guess I was thinking about like the API over time and how you'd want to like clean it up and eventually be like, yeah, we no longer support that. So I feel like to say we forever backwards compatible sounds daunting. Like
I mean, you don't have to worry about that. As a consumer, it's awesome for you. It's for our team to deal with. So we want to make consumers happy.
So yeah, like the sort of basics is terrible because the text is too small and it's in the wrong place. But we have a layout.
Yay! Maybe you just want to add some padding to it, just some margins and thing. I think you should be good to go with this page.
Yeah.
Is that padding 15 doing, like if you did 150, would it be like blah? Like
150 is quite excitable, but we'll do 25 and see what happens. Not 125.
I was like, 150 she won't do, but 125 acceptable.
That's I'm a rebel without a cause, right? Like, tell me.
Did it work? Did it do it? See, this is the part that confuses me. I'm like, did we actually?
I don't see much. I wonder if you changed the padding. I don't know. I don't see.
To be
much.
fair, like,
Hi Jay.
Because I've messed with things, and it might be that so one of the cool things as well is, how in like CSS you've got like styles.css, and that's just out of the box, and you can play with it, and it will apply to everything.
Yes.
So we have the same in MAUI. We have an application resources, and then you can specify resource dictionary. So you can start to add like, same as you've got CSS variables and you give them names and values. We've got the same.
I guess I would have assumed though that the like inline padding would still override whatever you had in your resource. It would.
But it might be things that I'm doing to other things in here and messing with it. So I've got things that automatically say, I want the font to be Open Sans, which
I see.
Have that the box actually the new not. I don't think anything would mess with it, but you never know. But things like this padding on the button probably needs some adjustment.
I see. Oh, you think that's where I see. Okay, so
like when you look at I stopped it, didn't I? When you look at the page, you'll see that the button is kind of in the wrong place. It's overlapping the bottom tabs a bit. See? It's right at the bottom.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's cool though to know that. I didn't know there was a separate place that you can do styles.
Yeah, it's kind of like application wide. So a bit like with CSS where you can be specific on the components in the HTML pages themselves. If you want to just apply some stuff everywhere, you can and on every page. this is a place to do it.
But so we have our form now, and I know you were showing us the MongoDB goodness, but how do they connect? They're not connected already, right?
I think
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
Luce.
no.
I was gonna say, Luce, we should do that. We can come back and fix your styling later.
Yeah,
We've got a form.
Yeah, so we can stop this now. So we have a good old-fashioned NuGet package. So we have drivers for C#, Java, Node, PHP, all sorts. But we're in the C# world, so you can find MongoDB. And we've got the driver with 79.6 million downloads. So people use it. Everyone thinks. So for me, things that drive me crazy is that even though we use JSON and everything, mobile developers, I'm forever seeing people use SQLite .NET, and like SQLite SQL and stuff is great, and it's been around for a long time, but it's just complicated.
Yeah. It's refreshing to hear you say that. I know Fuel was saying that he did not prefer JSON, but I don't know. Like, I feel safe with JSON and that type of formatting. So whenever I wouldn't, if you were like SQL is gone, I'd be like, okay. Goodbye.
So we've installed the driver now. Cool. One of the things we're going to want to do though is basically have an app secrets file. So we just store the ID of the but we basically just need to say like, here, this is the ID of the realm app, so it can see it and it can see where to get the data from. So we can just create a add a file, and we're just going to call it app secrets, because why not? I don't know. I don't really need to call it app secrets because this isn't actually that secret. But but essentially, if we go into here and we go to our existing one, we can just steal that. There's going to be a lot of code stealing because he wants to write things from scratch. So what this is just a static class, so we can just literally say app secrets dot realm app ID and we can use it. Now this is where it gets a bit magical. So Realm insists on being run on the same thread, which sounds really weird because like technology these days, everything runs on like multi-threading. So it's just this idea that things can run in parallel, and it's like, you can do more than one thing at once essentially. So Heather's asked, what's your opinion on working with C# plus MongoDB versus SQL? Honestly, I know technically I work for MongoDB, so I'm supposed to be biased, but I do think that it's just easier, as you'll see. Like, you work with the objects in code in exactly the same shape as they'll be stored. So you don't need to think about how the relationships are going to work or how you map the objects in. It's just easier. Like, I like it because it's just JSON. So we can go ahead, if we go back to here and we go to models, we have this blood pressure reading.
We actually have one more question, Luce. The MongoDB live stream that you mentioned, Learning with Luce.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a stream because they want to come watch you. They want to know the link.
It's on. Hang on, I can type it in chat. I've got chat up on my phone, so I'm keeping an eye on it. So it is twitch.tv/MongoDB. I mean, we tend to stream to both Twitch and YouTube. And so often you'll find chat on YouTube is more active because that's what our social media team put in the links of all the social medias they share about it. But Twitch exists. I'm always there. Even when I'm not the one streaming, I load both chats so that no one feels left out.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. I'm just ill.
Oh.
But yeah, so we've got this blood pressure reading, which is just a bog standard C# class, which extends realm object. And it's basically, and then the driver takes care of it. So as you see it here,
that's awesome.
That we map. So you'll have a ID. This one's a bit special. So we're saying it maps to underscore ID because that's the unique field that MongoDB uses. So a bit like, you have a primary key in SQL. You want, you have a unique identifier for documents in MongoDB as well, which is underscore ID.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really need to worry about this one too much because it'll just generate you a new one. And you don't have to worry about it. But then you've got, the partition key, because later on, I don't think we'll get to it today based on time, but later on what we'll do, if you do the login and not just the grab of the data, is login. So you basically partition the data based on like the username, so that you only see that person's data, because no one else wants to see other people's data.
Fuel was asking what the difference between a partition key and an ID is.
Okay, so an ID is a unique identifier for each document. So every single document has one. It's random. You can set your own values for ID, but there's no point. It'll give you one every time. And then a partition key is basically the kind of the key that you're saying, hey, this property is the one that we're going to use to decide on the data. So if we're doing it for this like health data one, the partition is going to be the user. So it's basically saying that this document belongs to this user. So you could have multiple documents with this different object IDs, but the same partition because it belongs to the same person. No document has the same ID, but multiple documents can have the same partition key if they belong to the same grouping. I hope that makes sense, Fuel. If it doesn't, let me know. But yeah, so we've just got some properties basically that decide on the values, and then I chucked in this cheeky little combination blood pressure at the bottom, because when it's displayed, you don't want to see it as two individual pieces. You want to see it as, systolic over diastolic, so the numbers that you see in the blood pressure reading.
Gotcha.
But we can literally copy all of this because I'm lazy.
I mean, I see no issues in this at all. Absolutely no issues.
Add new item.
I guess the only caveat I'd add to this is anyone doing a migration, please make it a separate branch on your Git repo. If you're not on Git, please get it on Git before you start migration. You don't want to go deleting your old code and new code, So
yes, and this is
version control.
So I will share the I will share the link after, if people want to either rip the code to shreds, get involved, or just interested. And then some stuff's going to be broken, but we can fix that. What am I missing? I'm missing.
Oh, the using? Is that what it's angry about?
Yeah, but it might be like I'm missing a NuGet package.
You need another NuGet package, yeah.
Install. Yeah, I'm missing realm. That'd be a good start.
Whoops. Yeah, we just talked about it. You need to add it.
I'm ill, okay? I'm going to keep playing that card until it gets me out of trouble.
The rest of us can't hide behind that, so I'm just like, oh, yeah, why didn't we tell you to add it? Oh.
But we'll get there. So we can accept that and say, hey, it's okay. Okay. Don't worry about the errors, by the way. It's because it tries to build everything and it's like, oh, makes no sense. So now we should be able to do, there we go.
It's happy.
Well, it's all happy. We just have to get all the users in.
Did you not see I thought they added that in VS now, add all of the usings.
I thought so, but you know what? I've never actually seen it.
Oh, I keep fighting with David with that too. He keeps seeing it. I don't see it, so I don't know. I don't see it either.
Yeah, but he runs a preview of the preview. He has internal previews. Like that doesn't count.
I mean,
you probably do as well, but I'm the mere mortal. I just run preview.
I'm just like, I'm on the same internal previewers and still don't see that fancy option.
That's just favoritism.
They give him a special there. Cool. I'm so happy. It was pretty straightforward. Add the new gits, move over the old code. It's very promising. Yeah.
So now we have the model in our C# code that matches the properties that we saw in the actual. This is like, what's the mean 90 million lumens? It's like really dark mode. But yeah, if you can just browse the data inside Atlas, which is cool.
That's cool. Were you able to sort of export that C# file, or did you have to manually write that out the first time that you did it?
This one?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I wrote it out manually, but you don't have to. What's cool is, I don't know if you can do it in here. Do I have Compass? We have a GUI for MongoDB called Compass.
Cool.
And you can browse the data, and basically there's a button in there. This won't be the right cluster, but like database, but it's out of date. But does this work? Might be.
Okay, so basically it will sort of it'll just create like that C# sort of templatized, like, hey, here's your model in C#.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
I didn't, but you can. But like, for example, we have data APIs. So say you don't want to use the driver because you either just don't want to do one, or you're using something like IoT that doesn't have a driver for like MongoDB. What you can do is use data API, which is just an endpoint that you can call to do things with it. But what's cool is if you go into test your API and you can pick your language from the drop down, it'll give you the code.
That's awesome. Nice.
Because who wants to write out code? We do all the hard work for you, so it's cool.
Yeah, I was just curious if something did, Automagics gave me that model file.
Yeah, no, I think I wrote it. Did I write it out? I might not have done, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, I can do that. I can try and we'll try and do a quick overview, Heather, of what steps we did. If we go into so you've got it like here written out in one way. I think there is a way of doing it, but yeah, I just wrote it out manually, to be honest, because it didn't take much.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we've got the data, and it looks like it's stored in exactly the same shape, which I think makes it so much easier to visualize what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Sweet. What's next?
Okay, so we've got the model. Now we can actually start doing stuff with it. So as I mentioned, Realm likes to run things on the same threads. We have to do a bit of a hack. So it's sort of a hack. You just have to take advantage of code behind. So we have this. We set up.
Code behind. Model. A code behind, for everyone watching, is the C# file connected to the XAML file of your page. So anytime we say code behind, we mean the C# file associated with the XAML file that controls how your UI looks like.
So you're right. Page. Yeah. So there's always a C# partial class to go with every XAML file, and most of it will just have the constructor and initialize component, which is just there for you. But then you can start doing things with it. So in this case, I create a new view model so that I can reference it and also set the binding context. So in XAML, you can, if you're doing the MVVM architecture, you can do binding like this. It just says, hey, the command, when you click this button, bind it to this command in the view model. Rather, out of the box, it uses the code behind to look at of what to do. But if you're doing MVVM, which is a slightly more evolved architecture, you can literally do commands. So it's just telling it where to look. When you're saying, hey, go and find this command, it needs to know where to look. So in the code behind is where you just say, I've got too many pages open. Nope, it's
history. Yeah,
there we go. This is where you just say, hey, the binding context is actually this view model. Sorry. You can just say new view, like binding context equals new view model. But the reason I've actually created a variable here so I can use it down here. So as I mentioned, Realm has to be run on the same thread every time. So the way that I don't know why, it's just one of those architectural things from a long time ago. But the way you get around that, and I am going to create content on this because it's a good one to know. Thank you. Sorry, Heather just said to feel better. But yeah, you can just say on appearing. So this is because it's overridden, it's an existing method that's always existed, but sometimes you want to say, hey, override it. So I want to do some extra stuff. So I'm basically saying that one page is just before the page becomes visible. So on appearing, all this initialize realm. And what that does is it just does a bit of configuration. So it gets the current user and then says, get the instance of that realm because it's like an object. And so that realm, you just use that same realm object every time. Find the users and then do some stuff to grab the readings. So if there is a user, then just create a new observable collection, which is like a list of type that model that we just created, and then just grab all of them in reverse because I want the newest, I want the most recent ones at the top rather than the other way around.
Oh.
So it's all just a bit of magic because this is just link, which is why I can do it. But some of this is probably going to break because I might not have a user yet. But we're just going to copy and paste this because you only live once, right? So what do we want? The other thing here that's interesting that I will change eventually. This is actually an extra. I've already got it in my other project, but it's another NuGet package because you want to kind of. The thing with data binding and MVVM is that the idea is that when something changes, so like a property changes, you want the UI to automatically update. So you have to do a load of stuff like with interfaces that I won't go into now, but it's a bit complicated. And so one of Sweeky's colleagues, James Montemagno, created a NuGet library to just make it easier. So he does all that complicated stuff under the hood and you just implement this. So this is nothing to do with Realm. This is just something he did. But we've got all this stuff here that we can steal. Up to here, I think. No, maybe not. Too much code. Right, there we go. I think I called it the same thing in here, which is history. Oh no, I called it history page view model. Okay. Oh, I made this as right. Ignore that. I was trying to move it to use something called source generators. That's a whole other conversation. That's another video that James made. If you work in the mobile space or ever touch Xamarin in your life, you'll know that James is just the face of everything and knows everything. He made a video on this recently, but we're not going to worry about that. I've not moved it to source generators yet, so we're going to not worry about that. So
I'm going to pull up the video link for whoever is curious.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we've got base view model because I've already got it in the code, but now we just need to fix. See? I don't have a fix all. Like
yeah, there's no fix all, right? No factories, no.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. Sweeky's making stuff up. It's fine.
Oh, that's a blog post. I didn't realize he had a blog post. I should read that. I can log in to his blog post and edit all his typos.
Yeah, he has the video embedded in the blog post, so I just figured I just put the one link in. Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's another reason why like they were so excited I was their first Patreon supporter for their podcast because, a few years ago, I don't know what year it was, maybe 2018. I kept sending James typo fixes because I was like, "Hey, you've got a typo on your blog, by the way. Here's what it should be."
Funny.
Then it evolved to Markdown format because I was like, "Here you go. This will make your life easy because you use Ghost." And then one day he was like, "Here, just have an editor account on my blog."
That is awesome.
So yeah, I just like quietly log in sometimes and fix his blog post typos. Because that's what community is about, right? You just see a way to help people and you get involved. Oh, I don't know whether it's obsolete. That's okay. Oh, that's going to bring in. There we go. Oh no, we're okay. Anything else? Okay. Oh, we need to add that. I know what that problem is. We'll get there. And user doesn't exist. Okay. So, on here, in our getting started, we create a Realm app. So we have access to like the Realm app globally, because that contains things like, the user that's currently logged in. Because that's what we're using to say, hey, this is a person logged in to only show their data. So we can steal all of this. We don't need on sleep bombs, do you? We can put this in our app. So yeah, this is just, a lesson in how to professionally copy and paste.
I love it.
Oh, that's locked. There we go. Well, I just love the fact that literally all we're doing is copying and pasting, and it should, in theory, work. We might need to take the user stuff out, but because we won't have a user because no one's logged in. But that's okay. We can possibly get around that by just saying that there's always a user. Actually, that's a good point. We should probably switch branches. Maybe. I should have thought about this, but as I said, I'm ill, so I'm just going to play that card. But we'll get there. We'll just persevere for now. I can always do like a part 2 stream on my channel or something where I just finish it off.
Absolutely.
Content breeds content. That's the DevRel motto.
Happy to come back and join you.
Yeah, come hang out on my stream. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I have swords on my stream because it's an imposter syndrome battleground. That's literally that's like the vibe I have for my stream because I don't code properly. It gives me imposter syndrome, so I just persevere. So we have our app. So then now we should have a app that it understands what to do with. Right, let's go back to history. It knows what that is now. It's just user it doesn't understand. So we can come back to here and we can steal users. So users is again, it's just another class. In this case, it's got an ID, a partition, and a name. So we can create it. Just making sure we've not missed any questions. No, we're okay. So we can just create a class called user. No, I don't want to call it class one. I don't call it user one. Wow. There we go. Let's close that. All right. Oh, not this nonsense again. Ambiguous reference.
I need to just put an explicit qualifier.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else that's using. Was it for user or was it for that?
Let's have a look. So history. It is a models user. So we just need to.
Aha, there we go. Yeah, I got it. Alias everywhere.
It's a models user. There we go. Whatever, I don't mind being explicit. If it stops complaining. Oh, I've got to do it in mod command, right? Code, right? Who would do it for me?
At least it's an easy right click now, which is nice.
Yeah, so, oh no, one more. This is a models.user. There we go.
Nice.
So now we've got that. So now we've got it like available to work with. So if we go back to our app, CS, everything's happy now. So on start, it will go ahead and create the user. The other thing we need to steal is we need to take we might need to do login as well, because it's going to go, hey, like, I don't know. Actually, can we quickly switch branches? What's changed?
Do you want to commit your stuff before you switch branches?
Nah,
At least,
no, I've just looked. There's nothing in here of importance. It's just I probably put an extra space in or something funky, and resource designer from running the project. So I'm just going to stack.
Cool.
This is not production ready. Never use me as a role model. What?
What are you saying? It works. It works. It's completely production ready. It just got it wrong.
I know, right? Ship it. Just ship it. It's fine.
Oh, that's better. We just want hacky, simple code. We don't care about users at this point. So it's basically saying, like, oh, just set as my partition. Like, there's nothing special here to establish who a user is. Because we don't actually, at this point, we don't care. We don't want to do as much work to
Here's some information.
Siri. Okay, I did pick up the method name, so we can do that. Oh yeah, we just need to. Okay, hang on. I can be app. Okay. What did I call it? In here. Test in production, absolutely. Oh, we don't have an app. Where do we get app from? App is one of these. Okay, and now. Okay, and now this doesn't exist, so that's why it's like, huh? Oh, yes, it does.
Does it?
I don't know. It made it sound like it does. No, that's okay. It should do, yeah, because login async is part of Realm.
Okay, well.
Always user given credentials. Okay. To answer your question, Fuel, I'm pretty sure it's May. But I try not to get my hopes up. It's been pushed back so many times. Oh yeah, that's the. I like your official answer, sweetie. Look at the roadmap.
Oh, I know. I just happened to link it for Heather before, so I was just like, it's all in there.
It's a very safe answer, though. Like
yeah. That's the employee
there's
answer.
no commitment here.
I'm sorry. I'm just here. I will point to official docs. That's all I can do.
Bounty said that David promised May, or he'll shave off his eyebrows. So
I will hold him to that.
I'll take it.
What's going on, Luce? What is the error exactly?
Saying login as a user given credentials. The last what's the problem? Cannot explicitly type convert.
I think that's you. Remember when you did all of those users to user.model and user.
Yeah, but I got rid of that because we're doing anonymous now because we don't actually care about users.
Right. I think I have a feeling that means there's a mismatch in a user object somewhere. It's still pointing to the other user model instead of the realm user. So I think that's what's going on here. I wonder which one it is. That's the thing.
So login. Async takes credentials and it returns a realm sync user. Okay, yeah. So this should be a realm.sync. Can't type.
Almost there. There we go. Sweet. I think that might have been it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that should just get all the readings. It might not get any because we haven't logged any, but we'll try. So we've got the initialized realm. So now this can call that on the start and create the realm map. So it associates the two together in the app. When the history page is created now, it will automatically, this blood pressure readings property that we've got is bound to the, no, it's not because we added the login code, but not the history page. It will be. There we go. Go to history page. We just do that. It will bring everything in. It uses a collection view, so it's got a bit of a funky layout with a lot of tags, but it should automatically bind this list. So collection view is basically a list. It's just nicer to work with. And we're basically saying the source of the items for this list is just blood pressure readings. What do you mean it was not found?
What? You might check the XAML namespace. So if you scroll all the way up, you might need.
Okay. Let's have a view models. I didn't change anything. I'm just going to ignore that. I don't trust it.
Maybe it's just a false heading. I don't know.
I think it's a false error. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to ignore it. And what should happen now is because it's binding this collection view to that list, and that list is that property, but we've assigned it here. So when the page first appears, we're saying call this method, and then call realm and populate it with all of this. It should, in theory, pull all the blood pressure readings. It might not show anything because I think the data at the moment is associated with the user. So now we've rolled back to anonymous. It won't see anything. But as long as it doesn't break, we can do the actual log reading page, and then we can get it to save it, and then it should just start showing things. But I'll settle for not broken right now.
I'd settle for not broken.
You and me, everyone on the stream agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, like I've got antibiotics to start today. Like I am dedicated to this.
You haven't started today? I thought you started them.
While it gets me out of trouble.
Oh, is it the ones that make you woozy and sleepy? Is it those kinds?
I don't know, which is why obviously I only got the prescription this afternoon, but it said to. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, this is fine. What are you upset about? I mean, Google could not be. What? Yeah.
You want to clean?
It's available in Android, and we're targeting Android. So what's the problem?
Do you want to do a clean build?
Yeah, I was thinking that. But yeah, I only got the antibiotics this afternoon, but I was reading it, and I have to take one twice a day. So I was like, oh, I'll do it after stream because in case it makes me feel horrible.
Aww.
I was like, I don't want to find out on stream, so I'll do the stream and then I'll take medicine. This is how much I love doing this stuff, is that you just postpone medicine until you've done it. Honestly, I could, even though like I don't do this like Maui and stuff every day or Xamarin or anything like that every day, I just love this stuff. I could talk about it all day and night.
Okay, come on. We know it built before. We know it built before. We know it built before. So
yeah, but we've had a new code in, so I'm hoping it'll build now.
The error was from the old code, though. This was already there before, right? The history page and
the history page was, but we've added the code to the view model stuff, and we haven't actually run it since.
That's true, but I don't know. I didn't actually see any errors from that code, so I'm just saying.
I'm hoping it will work. We'll see. Yeah, this is the one sort of unique thing from Maui that's new. Obviously, there's all the amazing features, but the one thing that catches you out constantly is having this drop down on the wrong platform.
Yeah, if you don't have that set up right, yeah.
What's the matter?
Custom shell render. Why is that? So look, it's all in. It's like
right. Cannot resolve namespace.
That's weird too to me.
It's all right. We can do the old-fashioned trick, and you know what I'm going to say.
That was going to be my suggestion. So, I was going to suggest that if this isn't working, do it the other way. So
let's just do VM equals.
Just the whole assembly. Just point to the whole assembly.
Wait, what? Android's disappeared.
Oh.
Something weird's going on. What's I broken?
You shouldn't need to point to Android anymore, Luce. You should just point to the main assembly.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't pointing to Android anyway. It was pointing to view models. I just noticed that .android wasn't on the list, and I wondered if that was related to why Android's not working.
I don't think so. I feel like that's something else. I'm kind of curious, why doesn't it like your view models namespace? So hold on. I'm totally not opening.
I know what I might have done. No, I've not done what I thought I'd done.
Okay, hold on.
Which was the namespace?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Because I stuck the word pulse in to tell between Maui and Xamarin Forms. But no.
Hold on. Let me see. I will open a app on the side to see.
Right, let's XAML. What's the XAML CS file? Views, history. No, that's okay. So that's in views. What's going on? I might just close Visual Studio and reopen it and see if that helps.
Exactly. I was just about to suggest
that. All else fails, just restart.
And all else fails. It's never let us down, you know. Yeah, I actually don't see anything different. I have my app set up the same way. The namespace is set up the same way.
It worked before.
And exactly, it worked before. So it's like
this is live demos for you. Like some stuff we've changed, but nothing that's like the XAML page hasn't changed.
Jeez, okay.
Why are you so unhappy about this?
Okay, let's look at spellings. View models, that looks correct. Absolutely no idea why or how. Thank you for blessing us, Visual Studio gods.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I forgot to sacrifice the demo gods before I came live.
Thank you for letting it recognize the namespace now.
Although
when
we've
it
still
was
got time for
exactly
it to
the
blow
same.
up, so we'll see.
I mean, one step forward, right? First step was to get this to...
Yeah, that's true. Take the wins where we can find them.
Step by step, step by step.
At least IntelliSense helped.
Yeah, that was good. I swear I didn't see any. Maybe it was like a sneaky white space from the copy paste. Maybe it was unhappy with that. I don't know.
But I didn't copy the binding context. I didn't change.
Right? You added that
already
in.
There.
Yeah. I don't know.
Step by step, heart to heart. That's the spirit.
It reminds me of the My Little Pony, hoof to heart.
Yeah, it was step by step heart. That's Toy Soldiers, isn't it?
Oh yeah. There's that. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, okay. Something's broken. Well, critics. For an exception. Please don't go wrong on me. I haven't got the coding skills to fix this.
Sorry. Well, wait. Hold on. Can you zoom in a bit? I was trying to look at.
I don't know if you can zoom in on this box.
Oh no, that's fine. Was it a system exception? Oh boy.
She knows.
I might know.
System DLL not found.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll get there. So.
Okay. I think I might know. Hold on.
Oh, I know what it'll be. We don't need that anymore. That was me hacking around earlier because I was doing login when I was on the other version.
Okay.
So I think this will help.
Go for it.
I was getting null reference exceptions, so I was like, nope, okay. System DLL not found realm wrappers. What?
Okay. Okay. I got distracted looking for the song. Now I'm gonna finish my... I don't know if I should like be looking for Luce's thing or finding the song, you guys.
We can't have this realization. Was it the song or?
I'm just like, no, I was looking. Okay, so I thought this was Eminem's like Toy Soldier, step by step, heart to heart. So, okay, now back to the issue at hand. Okay, I think Luce, I think I know what it is. I think it's a known problem. Where do I put the link? Where do I put the link? Okay, I'm putting it on Twitch. There's an issue initializing realm on Maui, and I think your team knows about it.
Just God's sake.
It's an open issue. It was reported last month, and it looks like the team is working on it. Though.
That is funny though. Like you found it. You found the issue with Realm and Maui, right? Like we did it.
It's okay.
I don't work on this all day. No.
I would love to play an employee card right now and load Slack and post it in our .NET drivers team thing, but because everything's probably under NDA, I really shouldn't open my work.
I mean, there is an issue that was opened on the Maui side, but it's closed because it's from the Realm team. But following the latest update on the Realm issue, there's some stuff they suggested to try, like this activity from like 4 and 2 days ago, which means they are actively working on it.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, just not yet, which is fine because Maui is still in preview. And so that's why we put previews out. Yeah, it's not your fault, Luce. We can still do the rest. You can still migrate over the rest of your UI. You can mock a database if you want to just test everything out until the Realm support is added in. That's another alternative.
Okay, well, all right. Well, like since we've hit a roadblock, I will at least talk through the Xamarin Form side of the code because it'll be the same, so we can at least educate our friends on the internet.
Absolutely. Just want to before anything though, Alyssa, everyone good on time check? Just want to check with Alyssa.
Yeah, I'll need to go in like 5-ish. If that's okay.
Okay, Luce, you have 5 minutes to summarize.
Go. Okay.
And educate. Go.
Okay. So when we log a reading, no, wrong one. We want the view models. We want. Oh wait, I can't deal with this. This is tabitis and it's causing me mad. can't do it. There we go. Start again.
Wow. Did you see that? Close all tabs, and that's how it's done.
Bring it full circle.
Okay, so we have code here that sets up the realm and the user, and we've got those different entries. And so when you click log reading, what it does is it gets the current date, the time of day, then it parses those numbers from the text entry into actual like int32 numbers, because obviously you want to store them as numbers in the database, not text. Then we work out the current time. So because it's in short date string, it'll give you back AM or PM. So I've just done a little hack that says if the current time is PM, then set the time of day to PM, so that you know like what time the reading was taken. And then we literally just assign those values for the database. So we create a new reading, we set the time, we set the date, the time of day, the values that we put in, the pulse, then the partition key. So at the moment, we've just got a hard-coded one because this doesn't include the whole users thing, but the other branch does. But I don't feel well enough to explain that in 5 minutes, so we're just going to cheat and pretend that the other version is nice and simple too. Then we create the realm app, we log in, we create the new sync version. So it sounds super weird to create a new realm object every time, but just it's so quick, it doesn't matter, and it's just easier. And then we say get the instance, and then just write. So we start this write task, and then inside of that, you can do anything that you want to write. So it's a temporary transaction, basically. And here we're just saying we want to add to our realm the blood pressure reading that we've just given. And then we've just got a quick, if it goes wrong, display a pop-up. And as simple as that, like literally in a few lines, we've just gone, hey, you know, get the values that we care about, boom, stick it in. So that will just log everything. And then if we want to get the history, as we saw, we just create the blood pressure reading list. We just use link to fetch it all, and then just say stick it in a list. This one doesn't have reverse in it because I thought of that afterwards. But yeah, it just creates a list and then displays them, and that's how you do it.
Seriously though, I cannot wait. It's April 5th. I'm having Luce on my Code It Live channel, JavaScript Girl in a .NET World, and she's gonna help us with mobile development, but on like a slower level.
Well, I'm gonna have you making an app.
Less intelligent level of mobile development.
So exciting! I'm gonna watch you guys. I'm gonna watch.
Do it. Then you can correct me every time I say the wrong thing.
Oh no! I was just about like, this was absolutely not your fault today. It's just unfortunate that Realm had a blocking issue, so it's not you.
But it's okay because I know the people, so I can. I don't have the power to suddenly change it, but
you can send them very angry gifts, you know. So I mean,
or link them to this video, and then all of us make sad faces now, and then they'll be like,
here, let's do it. I'm gonna take a picture of all of us making. Whoops, wrong button. This one. All right, are you ready to make your saddest faces? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So you just send that
Done.
as a GitHub comment.
Done.
And
I'll send it to you. Thanks, chat. You were awesome, chat, with the questions and the fire and the energy.
So I'm just quickly going to grab the links to the GitHub repos for these, so that if people actually want to take the time to look at it, they can.
So they can do it in the slow motion. That's the way I like to look at code.
Absolutely. I put a bunch of links in the Twitch channel. I'm pretty sure that did not go over to the YouTube channel, so I apologize in advance. If you're watching on YouTube, come back on Twitch and you can find the links. Or we'll try and put them into a better space. I just realized we're still learning. So I think we should put it somewhere better.
We could also put it in the YouTube description once it's done.
For sure. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Luce.
You know what? I know it's possibly more of a Realm thing than a Maui thing, but it shows how much great work the team has done, that I have so much faith in Maui that I didn't for a second think that any problems like this would happen.
I love it. I love your undoubting absolute support on the team.
Hey, I've known a lot of the team a long time. I have a lot of faith in all of you.
Do you want another one? Do you want another one? I think I might. I don't know why I'm even doing this. All right, here's another link for you. I think I might know what's going on with your layouts. It's probably in that issue, but we changed the default spacing for some of the grids in the stacks. So I think that's why when you were adjusting your padding, again, it's all of this is coming as part of the migration document tooling support. We're putting it together for you.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So sadly, it doesn't look like my talk will have my Maui version. MongoDB World in June. It'll still be the Xamarin Forms version, but that's okay. At least I know now.
I mean, you can show them how far you can get with the Maui version. Maybe your friends at Realm will have it fixed by then. Who knows?
I am just so grateful though for you taking the time, especially while you're not feeling good.
It's okay. It's 8 minutes to 9. I can go to bed.
Yes, go take all the meds and come back and see Luce and I on Code It Live on April 5th for more.
It's gonna be fun.
.NET mobile fun.
Like my Twitter handles and my little name thing on stream. So if anyone's got any questions or suggestions or just wants to geek out over Maui with me, drop me a message. Or you got MongoDB questions. That's probably more important. I should plug that.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Squeaky Katie, anything else?
It's all for me. I've learned so much. Thank you so much, Luce.
Thank you, Luce. You're amazing.
Thank you, Luce.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love the fact that I literally just invited myself.
No, it's how everyone should be doing it. You should not feel funky at all. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.